So I want to give you an example, and I'll admit this is kind of an old example of how you would use a system of linear equations to help you solve a problem. So AT&T, which was a telephone company well, they still are in existence, but recently wanted me to switch my long distance service. This is for a landline. I know many of you don't even have landlines anymore. So they offered me the following choices. Plan A was 15 cents a minute, anytime, any day with no extra charge. Or Plan B was 10 cents a minute, anytime, any day, so I'm paying 5 cents less a minute, plus $4.95 per month service charge. So then the question became, which plan should I choose? And I had to think about, well, how would I know what plan to choose? So I want to look at Plan A. So if I'm doing Plan A, and it's 15 cents per minute, let's think about how much would it cost for each phone plan if I talked for 10 minutes per month. All right, so for Plan A, if I were to talk for 10 minutes per month, which doesn't seem like very many minutes, I'm paying 15 cents per minute, so it's going to be 0.15 for 15 cents times 10 minutes. Now, hopefully you all know the easy way to multiply by 10 is I'm just going to move my decimal point over one place. I get 1.5, but it's money, so $1.50 would be how much it would cost. Plan B, I'm going to pay, and we're going to kind of estimate. Let's, instead of $4.95 a month, let's say $5 to make our life a little easier, because that's close to $5 a month. So we're going to have 10 cents per minute, so 0.10 times the 10 minutes I talk. But I also have to pay the $5 monthly fee. So for that plan, I'm going to pay 10 cents times 10, move the decimal point one place, you get $1 plus $5. So that one is going to cost me $6 to talk 10 minutes. So clearly, if I'm only going to talk 10 minutes a month, I'm better off with Plan A because I pay less. So part number 2, how much would it cost for each phone plan if I talked for 30 minutes? Well, for Plan A, 15 minutes times 30, and I don't mind if you use your calculator, or you can think of $1.50 times 3, really. So we're going to get $4.50. But for Plan B, it's going to be 10 cents times 30, so that's $3 right there, plus 5. So I'm going to pay $8 for Plan B. So I'm still better off with Plan A over Plan B if I talk 30 minutes a month. So how much would it cost if I talked for 1 hour a month? All right, so for Plan A is 15 cents a minute, but I'm talking for an hour, so you'd have to multiply by 60. So if you multiply 15 cents by 60, then you're going to get $9, and you can use your calculator, or I noticed that 30 minutes, that's just going to double that. Plan B works a little different though. 10 cents for 60 minutes is $6, plus 5 is $11, so it's still cheaper for me to go with Plan A if I'm going to talk for an hour, which is 60 minutes. But notice the difference, it's not as big. Okay, so the more I talk, so it would appear that at some point, Plan A is going to catch up to Plan B and maybe even start costing more. So then the question is, where does that happen? And this kind of problem you can do for anything that has if it has a different rate of change. You can look and see which is a better deal. So what I want to do next is to organize this in some sort of a chart. So I'm going to have the number of minutes and then the cost for Plan A and the cost for Plan B. Now, one that I didn't put on there is what if I talked 0 minutes? So I'm going to add that to my chart. And then we have 10 minutes, and we have 30 minutes, and we have 60 minutes. So if I talk 0 minutes, well, 0.15 times 0 is just 0, and that makes sense. But for Plan B, it'd be 0 plus the $5. So I'm going to put a dollar sign up here, and then I don't have to put them for each value. So this was one thing that I didn't like about that, is because even if I don't talk at all on the phone with Plan B, I still have to pay the company $5 even if I didn't make a long distance phone call. So, okay, let me just tell you guys, this is before cell phones. Yeah, when I came up with this example, I'm that old. All right, so moving on. The next one, we already know, I'm just gonna fill these in. So we had $1.50 and we had $6. We had $4.50 and we had $8. We had $9 and we had $11. So what we're going to do next is we're going to graph this situation. And so I'm going to use two different colors. I'll use blue for Plan A since I already have that one. And we're going to put the number of minutes on the x-axis, and we're going to put the cost of the plan on the y-axis. So I have to think about how I want to scale this. 60 wasn't far enough, so I'm going to need to be able to go past 60. I don't know how much past 60, but I want to see where the two plans are going to cost the same and then where one passes the other. So if we count by, let's see, I don't want to count by tens. Let me count by fives. That should work well. So now counting by fives doesn't mean I have to put a 5 and then 10. I mean, I can just go like 10 right here. But I'm still counting by fives. Notice each, the other ones there. Okay. And then for my cost, I can see that my cost is going up, but it's not, a huge amount. So probably 2s should be good. Probably could have done 1s, but that's all right. We don't know how high up we're going to go. All right. Actually, I'm going to do 1 in red, and I'll do the other in green. So Plan A, I'm going to plot the point 0, 0, and then 10 and $1.50, kind of approximate where that goes, and then 30, $4.50. Okay, I should have counted by 1s this direction. Hindsight, they say, is 20/20. And 60, I'm going to plot on the 9. And then I'm going to very carefully draw a line. Because if I'm not really accurate with my line, then I'm going to be off on my answer. So it looks like okay, well, I think that's pretty good. And now we're going to graph Plan B. So I have 0, 5, 10, 6, 30, 8, 60, 11, and I'm going to graph that line. And I want to extend it far enough so I can see where they're crossing. Oh, let's see. All right, so if we make a guess. Okay, now looking at my graph, and I kind of messed with it a little bit because I wanted to make sure, when I had to kind of rotate the lines a little bit to make sure they were going through the points that I plotted, because I didn't get them directly through there. So now if I'm looking at that, and let me switch so you can see this graph larger. It appears that they cross this point right here. It appears to be about 100, comma, and then if we looked at the amount, it looks like it's 15. So it appears that if we talk for 100 minutes on the phone, that the plan would cost us $15. So let's kind of check that out. If we put 100 in here, remember plan A was 15 cents times the number of minutes, and we would get $15. And this one was 10 cents times the number of minutes plus 5. So that would be $10 plus 5 is $15. So we can see by plugging that in that we do get the same amount. So I want to extend this just a bit to what if we had like our guess and check tables. Remember back to when we did guess and check tables. So what if I just let it be in for number of minutes? Well, this would be we wouldn't need this. This would be 0.15 times n would be my cost for plan A. And my cost for plan B would be 10 cents per minute plus $5. So I could actually write expressions. I could actually even write equations if I let C equal the cost. Then I could have C equals 0.15 n and C equals 0.10 n plus 5. Notice that the slope, I've switched these around. The 5 is like my y-intercept, and my slope would be 0.10. So I can write these as, I can actually come up with what the equation of the line would be. And that's the equations of these lines. So then here's the question. Remember how I started this? Which plan should I choose? So it depends. This is my break even. So if I talk for less than 100 minutes, plan A is cheaper. If I talk, notice plan A is the one that's in red. Okay, you can see the line's lower. If I talk more than 100 minutes, plan B is cheaper. Now, thank goodness you guys don't have to worry about this kind of stuff anymore, because with a cell phone plan, you basically get unlimited minutes. It didn't used to be that way when cell phones first came out. You had to be within your number of you had a limit on how many minutes you had. So otherwise, it cost a ton of money if you went over your allowance. So anyway, that gives you an example of how you can use a system of linear equations to answer a question. You're going to have a homework assignment about an amusement park problem that is similar to this.